Greetings, music makers. I'm Dr. Cayari, and in this video, I'm going to share with you a research study about how YouTube and learning institutions influence each other. There's a plethora of sites through which music learning and performance take place. These sites include both institutional learning spaces like schools and informal learning spaces that transcend the online-offline divide. Music educators have been called to consider the role of informal music learning in an era of ubiquitous internet connectivity, abounding online learning resources, and prevalent streaming music media. However, carrying out all of these charges are not as simple as examining the ways people are pursuing music outside of learning institutions. While there are myriad performers who develop massive audiences online despite never participating in school music, there are also musicians who use the skills they learned in music education programs while informally learning practices that inspire, supplement, and propel their online music making. My research critically examines the way YouTube creators developed the skills they needed to perform online, which helped me identify practices and resources that help musicians learn and make music for production on video streaming websites. This presentation is a multiple case study for which I looked at 4 YouTube channels created by 2 undergraduate music majors and 2 professional musicians who also grew up in traditional music education programs. The guiding questions were, what role did institutionalized music education play in participants' abilities to produce YouTube videos, and what practices and resources outside of music education supplemented their learning? Here's a graphic depiction of each case. The circle represents the case, which were the YouTube channels of each of the 4 creators. While useful information exists outside of the case, the boundaries allowed me to focus my inquiry. There were 4 types of data that were gathered: interviews, analytics, artifacts, and field notes. All data was coded using a 3-step process which started with assigning codes to each chunk of data. Then similar codes were grouped while some were discarded, and themes were identified. Final codes and themes were assigned to all data, which I used to create reports for each case. In the last step, case reports were analyzed to identify trends and answer the research questions. This is Doug Perry, a studio musician who also works at a university teaching percussion and audio production lessons. While he is a pioneer in teaching music, technology, and media production in higher education, his experiences with technology and media as a music student were subpar. With a bachelor's, master's, and artist certificate in music performance, Perry took only 1 course about music and technology, which was computer music. He enrolled in the course because he was inspired by the online creations he found in Overclocked Remixed, a forum where people uploaded versions of video game music they had remixed. He aspired to create his own remixes and thought the computer music course would give him the skills he needed to work with musical audio. He was sadly disappointed because the course focused on technology and electronics for the classical world, so he returned to the forum to learn music production skills from veterans and peers who were also learning along with him. After producing videos for his YouTube channel and coordinating multiple albums for the Materia Collective, he was approached by his university to start offering private audio production lessons. While Perry's experiences with music production in school were not ideal, he still applied the musical skills he gained in learning institutions to supplement his informal, self-directed learning of technology, like the creator of the next case, Melody Myers. Her channel started out as an archive for high school choral performances. She loved theatrics and entertaining people, so after her submission to the Whitaker Virtual Choir, she began recording all the parts of her favorite octavos and combining them in Adobe Premiere Elements. Experimenting with editing software allowed her to take her voice and mold it into a soloistic ensemble performance. Myers' first videos featured her singing SATB music, in which she sang all vocal lines in her own range. However, she used pitch shifting software to expand her tenor and bass line down an octave. Myers quickly made the decision to stop pitch shifting. Her desire for fidelity and natural sounds drove her to find music that was written for her vocal range. She recorded each track in one take, and while mistakes were in her recordings, she chose not to spend countless hours editing small intonations out. Instead, she learned how to splice her videos, which allowed her to piece together multiple takes while giving her audience a more visually dynamic experience. Myers' main goal was to entertain her viewers. She often used costumes and props to enhance her carefree and joyful performer persona.
Except it hasn't been peppered. If you behold a panther crouch, prepare to say ouch.
Live music opportunities inspired Myers' virtual performance. In this song, she adapted the choreography she learned from her Sweet Adeline's barbershop chorus.
Boogity, 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 shooby, doo-wop, doo-wop. Shake, shake, shakey, shake, shabop. We'll always be like one, 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 one. Sensation.
Live performance practices also inspired Myers to create barbershop quartets of clones that played with each other in a way you would expect a live quartet to interact.
It's Alexander's ragtime band. Come on and hear.
Each of Myers' characters had their own personality, which allowed her to express different sides of herself through music. The lead looked and acted like she does in everyday life, but she described her tenor as a dumb blonde. Her baritone is sillier than her tenor, and her bass as sexy. These personae, evolved in her recording studio, were applied on stage at her university where she was studying opera performance. Her YouTube channel allowed her to post recital footage that helped her reach a wider audience than the fortunate few who lived locally. And Myers also used technology to share her opera with the internet. Unfortunately, Myers was worried that her YouTube videos would have to be taken down if she pursued a professional opera career, particularly videos that fell outside of her brand. However, her virtual music making allowed her to perform music she chose. Online, Myers performed music from many genres, including rock and roll, classical, contemporary pop, and musical theater. While a cappella music was where she first started her virtual music making career, she also used karaoke tracks to expand her repertoire.
Your spirit and my voice in one combine.
She applied virtual choir techniques to her karaoke tracks by singing harmony she figured out by ear. The ensembles grew and grew to provide viewers with a grandiose experience. Julia Henderson's experience with YouTube and undergraduate learning was similar. Even though she was told to not post YouTube videos of herself singing by teachers and master classes in her university degree program, she did it anyway. However, she waited until after she graduated to do so. She spent a few years performing on stages across Canada and building her collection of YouTube video performances. These videos were created by combining what she learned at school with her self-directed learning of other musical and technological skills. She then decided to pursue a master's degree, casting a wide net by applying for both opera performance programs and music technology and digital media. She went with the latter, using some of her YouTube videos as part of the audition process. The final case features Carlos Eni, whose school was one of the many communities he traversed as he learned how to be a YouTube creator. 𝐒𝐔𝐏𝐏𝐿 was fascinated with video game music since second grade when he saw a live concert recording on PBS featuring music from his favorite video games. He started playing saxophone in 5th grade, began piano lessons at age 12, and turned to the internet to find MIDI files, scores, and sheet music that he could learn how to play. On September 8, 2012, at the age of 14, he posted his first video game cover, reading one of those scores accompanied by his Casio keyboard's pre-programmed drums. 𝐒𝐔𝐏𝐿's love for creating and sharing music expanded during his freshman year, and he started recording some of his favorite songs on the tenor saxophone he borrowed from his school. He began to record multi-track arrangements that he figured out how to play by ear. Since he joined his high school jazz band, he fell in love with the genre and started to transcribe his favorite tunes and improvise on their melodies. 𝐒𝐔𝐏's curiosity for music was insatiable, and he would borrow other instruments from his band program, like the baritone saxophone. And the bass clarinet. This video was recorded only a day after he played the instrument for the first time. His YouTube channel became an outlet to show off new skills and musical growth. Creating videos not only helped him practice his instruments, but also taught him technological skills like mixing, editing, and mastering as his performances became more and more sophisticated. During 𝐒𝐔𝐏's high school years, he connected to various communities both online and offline. In these spaces, he learned, performed, and socialized with others. This included his school music ensembles, collaborating with others, joining the Materia Collective, which was mentioned earlier, creating his own crowdsourced ensembles, making podcasts with friends, developing a Discord server with various discussion forums, performing at conventions, and hosting Twitch live streaming events. Rather than using his YouTube channel as his audition like Henderson did, he documented his undergraduate audition process on his YouTube channel to help future hopefuls who wanted to get into Berkeley.
Hello, welcome to my video explaining the audition process for both admissions auditions and placement auditions for the Berklee College of Music.
On YouTube, you can find 𝐒𝐔𝐏's college audition tape, and while at Berkeley, he was able to participate in student ensembles that featured music from many styles and genres. His university education helped him advance his musical and technological skills, and his YouTube channel became an experimental place to create the music he wanted to perform. 𝐒𝐔𝐏's time at college helped him be exposed to various genres, including a jazz metal band he performed in as part of his friend's recital. This event inspired his own senior project, which was a 3-movement jazz video game medley funded by proceeds from his YouTube channel and later featured both live at his university as well as online. Assertions from analysis position music learning institutions as a starting place for some YouTube musicians to attain the skills they need to create videos. School music education programs provide experiences in singing and instrumental playing for students at young ages, which participants used as a basis for music learning and music making in curricular settings, in their lives outside of school, and through virtual interactions with others. While school music programs provided the guidance and opportunities to attain technical proficiency on instruments or voice, informants had to hone most of their technological skills through informal learning. Examples of technological skills are recording, editing, production, and virtual marketing. Participants acknowledged that music education programs held rigid expectations regarding professional paths of students. At first, participants did not question the future the academy laid out for them. These professional paths for the participants were a classical marimba player, a private lesson tutor, music teacher, opera star, studio musician, or jazz saxophonist. However, the viability of online musical production expanded their musical trajectories, and participants taught or studied in academic programs. These participants were involved in the following degree programs: contemporary music writing and production, audio production and engineering, commercial music, and music technology and digital media. We should consider these types of degrees along with traditional music programs as we critically examine our music teacher education curricula. As we move forward, it is important to consider how digital media and virtual performance can be some of the many skills students can learn and pursue while in institutionalized music education in schools. If you're interested in learning more, the full case reports for both Myers and 𝐒𝐓 are available on the Dr. Cayari YouTube channel, and research written by me about musical YouTube creators can be found on my Google Scholar profile as well as academia.edu. Follow me on Twitter where I'm known as, you guessed it, Dr. Cayari, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel to get more videos about music research, learning, and creation. So until next time, keep on making music.